In this tutorial, let's have a look at how we can navigate inside the 3D volumes so that we can examine them and make findings. As we know, these slice views here display the actual data, and this here is a 3D rendered view of our volume. If we activate these colorful planes here under the 3D rendering tools, we might better understand from where these slice views are currently taken. So for example, now we have the axial slice here, coronal, perpendicular to that, and finally sagittal we have here. If we would like to browse through the volume while the planes are in this orientation, we could always grab the slider next to any of these slice views. So by grabbing the slider and moving it, we can move through the data, just like we see there in the 3D rendered view. We could also move through the data one frame at a time by using these small arrows here on either of the ends of the slider. So if we click on that, we would be incrementally moving through the data. While navigating in the volume, it might be more straightforward to use our mouse wheel for scrolling through the data, so that's also possible. We have here this zooming tool, so when this is active, we can use our mouse wheel on top of any of these slice views in order to zoom in and out these images. But instead, if we deactivate the zooming tool here, we can use our mouse wheel on top of any of the slice views in order to browse through the data. And naturally, we would be interested in forming also other kinds of views on the volume. So for navigating inside the volume, we have basically two modes. One is when we have this move, rotate volume activated. So this allows us to grab the volume on any of these slice views and move the volume so that we have these cross-sectional planes focused on the site that we're interested in. So left mouse button for moving the volume around on any of these slice views. And then we can use the right mouse button, so we can keep our right mouse button down and rotate the volume in order to adjust the views. In this mode, there are two possibilities for rotating the volume around. Here, like we see, the volume rotates around its center point and not around the cross sections of these planes. If we would like to volume to rotate around the cross sections, we could go to default settings here and we could tick this option, rotate volume around cross. So now that that's selected, we can grab the volume again with our right mouse button and the volume rotates around the cross. Let's then go to this other mode for navigating inside the volume. So instead of moving the volume while the cross-sectional planes stay in the same orientation, we could actually move and rotate these cross-sectional planes instead, and the volume stays in place. So for that, we would deactivate this move, rotate, volume tool. So when that's deactivated, we can grab this cross-section with our left mouse button down and we can put that to some position that we're interested in. Or we could just simply click, for example, on top of a root. So left mouse button for moving these cross-sectional planes, and again right mouse button for rotating the planes. And like we remember when we have formed the kind of view that we would like to have, we could now browse through the volume when the planes are in this orientation. Let's then still take a look at how we can go back to the original orientation. So it could be even that we have managed to completely lose the data. So in order to go back to the original orientation and reset these planes, we have two options for that. So we have here this reset view that resets the orientation, and it also resets the adjustments that we have made on the data. Another option for only restoring the coordinates or the orientation is here, this reset orientation icon in the toolbar. So if we click on this, the coordinates of the volume are restored to the situation after capturing or importing the image.